Record now. Okay. Can we? Okay. Can you tilt your camera a little towards you? Just tilt it a little towards you. That's it. No, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Uh, okay.
I should come in the center, right? Now it's good.
Yes, yes, yes. Can you come a little further? Little further. Just a little. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the logo should be visible. I think you're cutting the logo. Now it's okay. I think yeah.
Yeah,
Better. Okay. All right. Why is it not showing me when I'm speaking?
but I can see you.
Oh, no, but then when I'm speaking, is it recording like, I mean, I don't know. Because I can't see myself. So, okay.
You can probably drop and connect back. I think.
No, okay. Uh, okay. So, okay.
Is it sorted
Well,
or?
yes, we are sorted. Beginning now.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Marketing Crystal Ball, ladies and gentlemen. IPL versus Elections Showdown, your go to podcast for the inside scoop on marketing strategies during India's most electrifying events. I'm Preeti Hoon, and today we are diving deep with Puneet Vidyarthi from Case Construction Equipment. Puneet's innovative approach to marketing during the IPL and general elections has set new standards in the industry, captivating audiences nationwide. In this episode, Puneet will unveil the secrets behind effective media allocation, content innovation, and audience engagement strategies that have propelled case construction equipment to the forefront of the marketing arena. It's a rare peek into the tactics that navigate the complexities of India's diverse and dynamic audience landscape. As we explore the digital transformation and the evolving matrix of advertising success, Puneet will share how Case balances brand building and performance marketing, leverages influencer partnerships, and makes strategic sponsorship decisions during these high profile events. So, buckle up for a great session ahead and for an enlightening conversation that promises to enrich your marketing playbook. And remember, if you find today's insights valuable, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and this episode with your network. And let's dive in right there and discover the future of advertising with Puneet Vidyarthi. Welcome, Puneet.
hi, Preeti. How are you?
Okay, so my first question is on the media allocation strategy. Puneet, with the IPL and elections drawing massive attention, how is Case Construction Equipment balancing its media spend between digital and traditional platforms for maximum impact?
Great. I think it's a very valid question, Preeti. You have, a very valid point you have put on the table. Uh, uh, as far as our understanding is concerned, I mean, it's not either this or that. It's basically this and that, right? But the key is how do we balance between the two mediums, which is the conventional or the traditional marketing methods and the new marketing methods, primarily the digital marketing methods. So the key is how do we strike a balance because both of them have got their own strengths. While digital brings a wider horizon of measurability, whereas the traditional media brings in a larger impact and more connected customers. So depending upon the product category we are representing, I think one has to change the mix. But as far as my view is concerned, a right balance of both the media is required. On
Wow.
top of it, one is a media, but the important thing is who's my customer, right? So for example, for case construction equipment, my user comes from the rural background, wherein in many product lines within construction equipment, the ownership comes from the urban background.
Mhm.
So in my campaign, there's another element I have to take care of, that whether I'm targeting the person who is putting his money on the table, whether he's my target, or the person who's actually going to use that equipment, which is the operator primarily, uh, whether he is my target. I can't ignore the operator because he is a big influencer. At the end of the
Sure.
day, it's a machine which gives productivity. It's a machine which gives productivity, which means it generates cash. So
Hmm.
many a times the buyer also doesn't want to, go against the wish of the operator, because at the end of the day he has to deliver. But at the same
Right.
time, he has to take decisions about the price and things like that. So that's another element to which whether we are going to through digital and am I targeting the buyer, for example. In that case, my language, my design language, my content language, all that changes. And if I am targeting, the operator, then obviously I speak a different language. Uh, there is another angle to it, within construction
Mm-hmm.
equipment, for example, different products are at a different life cycle curve uh,
Okay.
with respect to the adoption of consumption of digital content. So, for example, in one of the product categories, by the name of excavators, the chained excavators, the
Mm-hmm.
user are is very evolved, right? But the market share or the market presence I have is lesser compared to another segment, which is tractor loader backhoe,
Mm-hmm.
where my presence is better, but the user is still learning or in a growth curve. So that's another angle which I need to take care of while I'm deciding how much I go into digital and how much I go into the conventional things. So
Right.
the answer is not simple. I mean, it's that fine balance, which in the language of food bloggers, they say, "Na, namak swadanusar." So वो correct स्वाद ढूंढना is that's the key.
Right. But like you mentioned, your category is not that easy, and online people tend to make purchases which are more impulsive, not the touch and feel, so to say, the products which are more towards touch and feel. So, do you think that that creates a kind of a roadblock for you when it comes to tapping the online potential customers?
No, absolutely not. So it's like, in most of the cars, you see the exploration phase is largely on the digital platform, while
Hmm.
the actual transaction happens across the table. So it's that kind of mix. So people do
Okay,
a lot of research before buying on the digital platforms. It's only the e-commerce part where because of the laws of the land and the large being a large ticket size thing, and you need to
correct.
physically sign certain papers, the transaction happens across. But as far as the option exploration, the knowledge gaining, the research, uh, the validations, recommendations, people do
Sure.
refer to the digital platforms nowadays a lot. Interesting thing is, even if my customer, for example, is say between the age of 35 to 40 to 45 years of age, he even if he's not so digitally literate, his sons and daughters in his family, they are
Hmm.
right. They become within a family, they become a very large influencer, in communicating the preferences about the brand when they are
Hmm.
sitting together having dinner as a family unit. So
Sure.
I mean, even if my immediate buyer is, even if, I mean, assuming, even if he's not there, but he is influenced by the circle of his people, core of his people uh, who are on the digital platform. So uh, I mean, there's no second thought about that whether it's a challenge or not. It's an opportunity for us.
Okay, and what the thought that's crossing my mind is that you said that his family is also a stakeholder in the decision making. But when it comes to your product category, it's more towards it's a very hard sell kind of a product
Yes.
where, I mean, it's not, the family is not going to really get involved. Like, it's not a house purchase. It's more like a B2B equipment purchasing. So how do you balance that out? Like do really, I mean, does it go to that level where the families are actually taking a decision on this?
Exactly. It's a very interesting thing. So within construction equipment, also you have multiple different product lines, right? So if I have to draw a parallel, I mean, that's not the right parallel, but it's like hatchbacks to sedans to SUVs within the car segment. You have different
Right.
customers set for different product while everything is a car. I mean, not an exact this thing, but so the category which is, for example, excavators or graders or dozers, which are highly specific B2B thing, which goes as a production machine, goes into the mines or road building and things like that. That is where I agree. The decision is largely techno commercial decision, but the products where people are making their livelihood through these equipment, you know
Okay.
uh, tractor loader backhoes, for example, some few categories of compactors, where the customer is buying a machine and running or earning his livelihood by renting these machines out on a hourly basis. it's like
Oh.
it's like your Uber, right? So
Hmm.
so in those category, which is almost half of the industry, by the way, yeah,
Hmm.
around
Okay.
50,000 odd units out of 100,000 units which India sells today. So 50% of that industry belongs to that category where people earn their livelihood, become entrepreneurs through these machines. In that 50%, the opinion of family matters a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about content
So when
innovation?
I say family, it's not necessarily the family unit, it's friends and families. So
Okay.
so
Understood. Yeah. So
that
that's
matters.
the first hand circle you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. What about content innovation in this space? In a landscape flooded with ads, what innovative content strategies does case construction equipment use to stand out during these peak advertising periods?
So what we have seen that peak advertising periods, generally uh, the emotional quotient is very high. The kind of content or the communication which you see is high, also because of the content, and also events like IPL or election. Everybody will have a favorite,
Yeah.
right? This party or that party, this team or that team, this player or that player, this
Yes.
candidate or that candidate. So the involvement on the emotional level is very high. So, and it's very important for a advertiser to, without taking the sides, but align the communication with the emotion which is going on,
Okay.
for the larger segment of people. So I
Right.
think the innovation which is relevant here is the moment marketing. How
Hmm.
quickly I can gauge and react and put out a communication which aligns with a larger set of people, something which happens on that day or on that moment.
What
uh,
about like moment marketing being temporary and not really a permanent exercise to build a brand? Because the next day people are just forgetting it. They're not going to remember your that one moment. I think these days the attention span of people has also reduced. So how do you tackle that?
I'll probably counter your argument. Amul is a pioneer in moment marketing, I would say, and they have
I mean,
made a brand out of it.
yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they are the pioneers. You're absolutely correct. But then, I mean, we already know, and they're pioneers since a really long time. Like it's been decades we've been seeing it, and now it's like it's everyday affair. So people are bombarded with moment
Yeah.
marketing moments. So how do you sift through those and make yourself
Yeah.
available to the customer?
So I'll cite one more example before actually coming to our take on, how do we tackle it. I mean, nowadays there is an ad which is going on the FM radio, which is a jewelry brand which is advertising. And so the point I'm trying to bring here, I'll explain. So what they
Yeah.
do, they are narrating the rate of gold on daily basis, which
Okay.
means which means they are changing the content practically every day,
Every
while the
day.
larger piece of narration remains same.
Yeah.
Where the lady says the price of gold today is so and so, and they are giving a figure.
Okay.
So the learning here is, while it's a moment marketing, but it's happening on a regular basis. So that is what probably the success with Amul is. They have created, or they have harnessed the moments of every day. So every day they come up with something, every day morning something else, every day evening something else. So what is changing is the communication suiting to that moment. What is probably is a long-term thing is the brand underlying, you know, and the tagline through which they are associating the moment with the brand. I think that's how the moment marketing has to be tackled. The
Okay.
second thing, and what we have seen and we have done also, is leveraging the user generated content. The user generated content could be from
Hmm.
the influencer or the user himself. The best part is, if the user is generating the content comes in vernacular. The
Hmm.
content generally comes in video, which are the two most effective media as we see, and also connecting with the emotions a larger, or at least that section of people are exhibiting.
Right.
So that is how we have handled the innovation with respect to moment marketing, harnessing the user generated content in vernacular and wherever possible in video.
So vernacular is the is point of focus for you.
Vernacular, and if preferably a video. uh,
Okay.
User
Both
generated
the
content,
combination is a focus for you.
that's the sweet
Okay.
spot. That's the sweet
Oh,
spot.
okay. Okay. So coming to audience engagement, like you're saying, moment marketing is on top of your mind where you want to harness that particular, the tool, the marketing tool. And what about tailoring your advertising to engage different audience segments during the IPL and general elections effectively?
Yeah. So, as you rightly said, it's a high octane, high noise level events where everybody probably uh, burning cash and also wanted to be seen. So there's a lot of content which is there, whether it's print, digital, television, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Uh, so how we take it, our take on it is, if I can make the content which is inspirational or
Hmm.
experiential. So these are the two
Okay.
keywords which we are taking as the cue for designing, or your question was how do we engage the audience. So inspirational and experiential, I'll just elaborate on this. So inspirational
Sure.
could be content which is based on certain objectives could be one person helping other, or one group of people solved a problem in certain situation and we then amplified through a storytelling method. So that becomes the inspirational thing. Sometimes we have seen the cultural sensitivity comes into the picture, which becomes inspirational in a different way, but for that community it generally becomes inspirational. Um, or a very specific value specific event which would have happened. So that's one way, and the other is the experiential. So which means we have just attempted something wherein we kind of given a demo to a set of
Mm-hmm.
customers without revealing the name of the product or the brand, and just tried to solve a problem with which a set of customers were grappling with.
Okay.
And once the demonstration was successful, then only we got into the details of product and things like that.
Okay.
So since we have not revealed the name or the brand or anything, I mean, the engagement we got was pretty much neutral, less of objections, and things like that.
What do you do in the case where the customer wants to see the product and touch and feel the product before making a purchase, or what do you do? Because
Yeah,
you can have those at different centers, right? You would not have to have it at one place where
absolutely.
probably, the because of the size of the product.
So the technologies around VR and AR come to our rescue in those cases.
Ah, I
We
see.
use both of them pretty extensively. However, wherever
Interesting.
possible, it's easy. I mean, it's not that difficult to not have a customer to touch and feel, because the machines are available now across India. I mean, a customer can generally travel. If he's not traveling, the VR, AR solutions, the video solutions, there are still methods to still give that experience to the customer without even physically touching and feeling the.
Sure. So, like you mentioned about AR, VR, this is pointing to the digital transformation age that we are living in, and it has reshaped advertising. So, how has this shift altered your approach for large scale events, and what success matrix do you use?
Uh, So as I said in the previous, discussion also, in the large scale events, for example, such as IPL or even I would say the day where when Chandrayaan landed on the moon. I mean that was another similar kind of event. I mean, though it wasn't a commercial event, but it was an event for the brands to leverage, and similar events like this. So what we have found, our experience is that the content which has got potential to go viral was largely a connecting emotionally with the audience, and generally it was quirky. So that
Hmm.
is something that goes well. So we have kind of taken that line where we uh, generate content and disseminate content which is more emotionally connecting and slightly funny or quirky or intelligent humor kind of thing. Our experiences and the KPIs are the similar ones. We measure impressions, viewerships, engagements, and virality if it is getting any kind of virality. So our experience is off late that this kind of content with the right measures, uh,
Okay.
the it works for us.
Okay. And what about the ROI of your advertising investments during significant events like IPL and general elections, in that they are falling in the same year now?
uh, See, I think it's a unique proposition where IPL and unique situation where IPL and election both are falling
Yeah.
on this thing. Um, I would say it won't be a big challenge because probably digital will come to the rescue because wherein the content can be really targeted to the audience. Uh, IPL for that matter will happen and uh, thanks to probably the content which is being aired free of cost by Geo, for example. I've seen majority of the consumption of this content is happening on the mobile screens. People are,
Okay.
even if they are on the move, the content is being consumed on the mobile screen as far as the
Yes.
IPL is concerned.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
the election related content, other than the days where the counting will happen, all those
Yeah,
debates and chat shows and all that, generally people consume that content towards the evening when they reach back home or sitting back leisurely. So
right.
my personal take is there'll be less of overlap in terms of people consuming, I mean, in terms of time at which people are consuming these two contents. The challenge is more with the advertisers and the brands and how much money we have to allocate to what. So
Sure.
depending on the TG we are focusing on uh, allocation between digital and election based news, probably that can be looked at. The how do we measure? I think how do we measure? It's like we use Google Analytics, Google Trends,
Okay. Okay.
analytics. We track impressions, CTR, CPC, so all those traditional things. We have also now implemented the listening tools, to understand what people are talking about, which is helping us to create and generate content. And
Mm-hmm.
very specifically, while these two, specifically the two events which you had mentioned, IPL and election, probably may not be generating enough inquiries which can be converted into sales. But we will use these two events as more of a brand building events rather than sales inquiry generation events.
Sure. Sure. Like you mentioned that you will be focusing on brand building. How do you kind of now going to balance it with the performance marketing? And it's like you said, the focus is there, but then performance marketing is also crucial in a way. So how does how you going to get the balance right in at these high visibility events?
Yeah, so as I said, the general mood of the audience, we believe, will be largely on, or the attention will be largely on either IPL or election. And they may or may not be consuming my content with the intent of buying a machine at this point of time. So we will
Hmm.
focus more on brand building, and through which we will capture the intent. And see, our product is a high ticket item. So, I mean, people will not buy it just like it. So
Yeah.
what we will try and get is the mind share, and remain in the consideration set if someone is buying, and use these events to create that visibility. Uh, for these two events, we will probably be focusing more on brand and less on performance marketing. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
we are clear about that.
Sure. So, do influencers and celebrities play a role there, and are they integral to your strategy during these events? And how do you measure the impact?
So influencer is a very critical element in our strategy, even before the word influencer became influential. You know,
Okay.
so so uh, reference customers, we used to call them, and reference
Right.
customers were always a very important integral part of the sales process we had. Now, what has got added is the social media influencers. And within that also, we had been able to identify the industry specific social media influencers.
Okay.
So we have seen that this breed of people are very effective in terms of generating the word of mouth, and
Okay.
they had been able to highlight the product specific USPs, and had been able to translate those USPs to the customer benefits in the language which my customer understands. So yes, we are using industry specific social media influencers. Uh, Celebrity, we have tried. I mean, in my previous role also, we have tried celebrities. It has not worked to that extent because, as I said, the intent is it's being a high ticket item. The involvement is higher. So the celebrity for us is the customer who had bought the machine, and we take his help to uh, convey the similar emotional connect and the validation of the product uh, within his community, his or her community.
Okay.
Because within that community, his community fellow members will have higher trust on that person rather than a celebrity who comes from outside and generally advocates about a product. So
Sure.
this is sorry.
No, so basically, you don't want to be a massy brand where, you're reaching out to the masses, but you're okay reaching out to a particular segment effectively.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Because
And
our
where do these
experience, our experience shows that uh, that works.
okay. So those are the conversions happen for you at that level, you're saying.
Yes, the people have higher trust on somebody from their own community telling about his experience, his success story, rather than somebody coming from outside.
Okay, and where do these influencers from your industry come from? Are they coming from the urban sector or are they more vernacular?
More vernacular, more semi-urban, more vernacular. The new breed of influencers.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are
And
more.
okay. So what about the sponsorship decisions that you take during this time, and what factors guide your decision to sponsor broadcast IPs during these events, and how do you evaluate the value they add to your brand?
So as I said, it's a ours is a slightly complex industry where
Right.
the users are at a different level of maturity in terms of education level, their awareness,
True.
the regional presence of theirs. So sponsorship, therefore, and also the number of users are finite in our industry. Uh,
Correct.
so what we have found that a general sponsorship generally doesn't work because a majority or the large part of the audience may not be directly involved or interested in this kind of product. If my other, I mean, but because, as I said, this content will be available, virtually free of cost to a large section of society. We will be attempting through some IPs, which are relevant and which my TG probably will be looking at. Uh, and then we will be attempting some of these sponsorships. Um, uh, what we are
Maybe,
also
maybe
thinking of,
localized events will help your
exactly,
brand. Yeah.
exactly. So what we are also thinking, and election probably will be a difficult thing for us to become a party to it, because we don't want to take sides, and we want to remain a neutral brand. But
Sure.
IPs is something which we will definitely consider some of the IPs to join hands with and see how does it perform.
Okay. And looking at the current trends, what are your predictions for the future of advertising in the context of major events like IPL and general elections?
Uh, I think whether it's IPL, general election, or any other large event like this, as I said, inspirational and experiential. These are the trends which we see, which take in terms of content and in terms of broadcast options, probably ROI driven strategies, which essentially will be digital optimized to handheld screens. I mean, that's probably. Uh, According to us, will be the something to look
Yeah.
out for.
Sure. And what about the challenges and opportunities that you see in the advertising for the upcoming seasons? And how is case construction equipment gearing to address them?
I think the biggest challenge would be the abundance of content which is available. Audience
Data.
will have a very large buffet of content, any which ways they have, but with these high scale events, probably the content will even go up. So the challenge for the brand would be uh, to get the right hook in their message, which can relate with the customers. And the second challenge is going to be the cost, because everybody, I mean, most of the brands will be investing on the
Hmm.
digital platforms. The asset costs will go up, the spot costs will go up. So it will become important and extremely interesting to find the right hook and the right combination of digital solution. And that's probably is going to be not only challenge, but it's an opportunity, and it's something very interesting for a marketer to work upon.
Yes. And keeping you up on your toes.
Absolutely. I think gone are probably the days where we used to give agencies a budget for the month and
Yeah.
target, and then be done with that. Probably, I think we'll have to look at the indices probably on a daily basis, or maybe on a multiple times on a daily basis, how it is performing. And
Oh, is it?
I think in those
I mean,
high
yeah, during these
during
hyper
these
budget.
event days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Okay, thank you so much, Puneet. That was a great conversation with you. And as we wrap up this fascinating journey through the marketing strategies that shine during the IPL and election seasons, we are grateful to you, Puneet, for your expert insights and the innovative approaches case construction equipment employs to engage and captivate the audience. Puneet's perspectives have not only illuminated the challenges and opportunities in advertising during these pivotal events, but also underscored the importance of agility and creativity in today's marketing landscape. It's clear that staying ahead in the game requires constant innovation, like Puneet was just saying, and a keen understanding of the audience's evolving needs. We hope today's episode has inspired you to think outside the box and equipped you with strategies to elevate your marketing efforts. If you enjoyed our discussion and found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast with your colleagues and share it with your colleagues and friends. And your support really helps us bring more insightful conversations like this one to you. Thank you for tuning in to the Marketing Crystal Ball IPL versus Elections Showdown. I'm Preeti Hoon, encouraging you to keep pushing the boundaries of marketing innovations. Stay curious, keep learning, and see you in the next episode where we will continue to decode the secrets of marketing success. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.